domino theory existed from the 1950s to the 1980s. It was promoted at times by the United States government and speculated that if one state in a region came under the influence of communism, then the surrounding countries would follow in a domino effect. The domino theory was used by successive United States administrations during the Cold War to justify the need for American intervention around the world.
But as the sun sets on January 30th, 1968, many expect this year will be like every other, a night of peaceful festivities.
Quadrant 372, verified.
All of a sudden, the radios start going crazy. Guys are calling in attacks from all over the place. Nobody knows what the hell is going on, but you can tell it's
something different, that it wasn't isolated. All these places getting hit at exactly the same time. You sit there and listen, and it's like listening to a radio program, except that it's reality.
As the sun rises on January 31st, the confused actions of the night give way to a grim realization. Over 120 cities, towns, and military bases, including the capital of almost every province in South Vietnam, are under attack by an estimated 84,000 North Vietnamese and Viet Cong. It is the largest coordinated military action of the war to date. Unknown to the Americans, the enemy has spent the past 7 months slowly moving hundreds of thousands of mortars, artillery shells, small arms, hand grenades, and explosives into the South.
At the core of the White House strategy was the policy of Vietnamization. What this really meant was that the United States was handing the war back to South Vietnam. American money and air support would continue, but U.S. ground troops would be withdrawn, and the burden of day-to-day fighting would shift to the South Vietnamese army. It would not end the war for the U.S., but it would end the most unpopular aspect of it.
It's come from me as president and as commander-in-chief of our armed forces. I implemented a plan to train and equip the South Vietnamese to withdraw American forces and to end American involvement in the war just as soon as the South Vietnamese had developed the capacity to defend their country against communist aggression.
In 3 days of mass infantry assaults, spearheaded by tanks, North Vietnamese troops managed to seize the northern part of the city. But they failed to break the defense. The 4,000-strong South Vietnamese force, reinforced by elite airborne units, held their positions and launched furious counterattacks, accompanied by renewed B-52 strikes. The carnage would continue until on May 15th, the Viet Cong forces withdrew.
Over the past several weeks, you have heard a number of reports on TV, radio, and in your newspapers on the situation in Southeast Asia. I think the time has come for me as president and as commander-in-chief of our armed forces to put these reports in perspective, to lay all the pertinent facts before you, and to let you judge for yourselves as to the success or failure of our policy.
The anti-war movement began on college campuses nationwide as a protest against the war and the draft. A draft that would send thousands of young men to die in a war that many Americans never fully understood.
And it seems to me that it is particularly appropriate that on
this same day, we are certifying the 26th Amendment to the Constitution.